fellow crocheters. Thanks for stopping by at Jack and Jan. I'm Jan of Jack and Jan, and today we're going to talk about how to add a ridged finish to your piece. This is going to make it look like it's knitting, but it's not. Again, it's crochet. Now what you see here was our 4x4 swatch that we did when we learned how to take a half double crochet and turn it into a stitch that looked like a knit stitch. If you want to see how we did that, just look up half double crochet knit stitch video and you'll be able to see that there. Alright, let's get started. Now what we want to do with this is to determine how wide we want our finish to be, our edge to be. We're just going to base that on how many stitches. So today I'm just going to do 5 stitches, or 5 wide, but in order to do that we have to crochet 6 chains in order to get it to back to 5, because we lose 1 when we go back in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're just chaining that right on the edge. Plus 1 is 6. Okay, so now I'm going to go back into that chain and I'm going to do 5 single crochets. 1, and the first one's always tricky. 2, and we're just going right into the top loop here. 3, 4, 5. Okay, all right, so we're back from where we started on our chain. You can see that that's our first ridge. Okay, now see how we're in this stitch right here? We don't want to go back into that stitch. We want to slip stitch into the next stitch, slip stitch, and slip stitch into the next stitch. So that's 2 slip stitches once we reach the base of our chain. Now we're at the base of our piece, so we're back in toward our piece, so we got to turn it. Now turning it is not that hard. Just flip it over like this. This remains back here, and you're ready to start again. Now what we want to do is we want to skip those 2 slip stitches. So skip the first slip stitch, skip the second slip stitch, and chain back into the back loop, single crochet into the back loop of our original chain. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all in the back loop of those single crochets. Okay, so now we're going to want to chain 1. We're going to turn our piece over, and now we're working back on the right side again. Okay, so we've chained 1. We're going to go back into our original chain, our ridge. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know, I'm a little clumsy today, so you'll have to forgive me, but we'll get through it. Okay, so now I want you to look at this. See how we're forming that ridge? You can tell just a little bit, even though we've only got 3 rows there. But see how we're in this stitch? We don't want to go back into the same stitch because you'll just create a hole. And plus we're adding 2 rows every time we go back into the foundation, so we want to make sure that we continue along like that so our pattern or our piece will come out even. Okay, so here we've got the next stitch, which we're not in. That's a slip stitch, and slip stitch again. Okay, turn our piece. Now we're working on the back side one more time and pull this in the back so that you've got it. It comes around. Now skip those 2 slip stitches. That's 1, 2. Okay, and let's single crochet into the back loop. That's what forms the ridge. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we're going to chain 1. And we're going to turn. Sometimes you can turn it like that. It just depends on how you're comfortable with it. You can turn it any way you want, really, just as long as you're working back and forth. So we've got that chain 1, so now we're going to go back into that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all in the back loop single crochet. Okay, we're in this stitch right here, so we want to go in, and when you go into the foundation, make sure that you're going not into the back loop, but you're going into the full single crochet. So that's 1, and that's 2 slip stitches. Okay, let's turn our work again. Skip our 2 and go back into our border. 1, 2, 3, 4, get it into the back loop, little stinker there, doesn't want to come out. There we go. I don't know what my problem is today, I'm a little awkward. 5, okay, chain 1, let's turn, see, look at how that, isn't that nice? I love this. And it's seamless, so it really looks professional once you learn this technique. Okay, so we've chained 1, so we're going to go back into our original 5, 1, back loop, single crochet, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, let's pull our yarn a little bit. Look for that stitch. Don't go into the stitch that you're in. We're going to slip stitch and we're going to slip stitch. Okay, so we slip stitch twice and we're going to turn our row, and 1, 2, we skip those, and now we're going to single crochet back in again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 1, turn it around, here we go again, skipping our chain back into our original 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're in that stitch, so we want to slip stitch into the next 2. We're almost done here. Slip stitch into those 2 into the full single crochet stitch or whatever stitch you've got there. Okay, so this is again skipping the 2 slip stitches that you did, and we're going to single crochet back into this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 1. Let's turn. Okay, let's go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now we've only got 1 stitch left, so we're going to slip stitch into the end here. Just slip stitch once, okay? But we're still going to slip stitch that. We're going to skip that slip stitch, sorry. So back into this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now sometimes we just end it like this, but other times what we have to do is we're going to join it together. So it just depends on the pattern that we call for this, but this is our technique of how we add a ribbed edging to our piece. And what you're going to want to do is you're always going to want to end though back at the foundation. So let's just chain back into this. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you can slip stitch right into that. And you're finished. And there you go. Isn't that nice? Got a nice little ribbed finish that looks professional and it looks like knit. Thanks for stopping by at Jack and Jan, and happy crocheting.